Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the Transformers. On this episode, we've got more updates on the Eternal War mobile game, images from the new official Transformers store in the UK, and a lot of TFCon LA announcements. Today is Friday, December 6th, 2024, and this is episode 419 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that thought there was a comic review this week, so we didn't prepare anything. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
No comic review is still better than a G.I. Joe comic review. Right, Daryl?
You got that right, buddy.
Hello, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian beast.
The times that we don't prepare anything would surprise people. We do very little preparing here, except for Charles, who's always prepared. Let's talk Transformers.
Fake it till you make it is the motto.
Ask me where my anxiety level is when no one else prepares anything for this show every week.
Or when it's just you, Charles.
It's always just me.
Charles prepares way earlier than everybody, so when we do it, we just do it later.
Like 5 minutes before the show.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Starting.
5 minutes before we start recording the show is too late.
I mean, no, it's still preparing, still putting the numbers down.
And Charles, you know what? As someone who runs a separate channel, at times I feel you, and I completely understand that. But also at times I'm part of the problem. So, you know.
All right. Anyway. Yeah, you love that I do all the work.
Merry Fakesgiving.
That's last week, Daryl. That was real Thanksgiving last week, Daryl.
No, that was Fakesgiving.
Fakesgiving was in October. That's the Canadian
that's
Thanksgiving.
The real one. It's the real one. I don't care what
If you were smart, you'd celebrate both and just get more turkey.
Exactly. I know, and I can.
Yeah. I mean, what does Canada have to be thankful for?
Medicine.
A lot more than us right now.
You know what? Right after I said, I was like, never mind. Nenever mind.
We'll talk after. I'll make a list for you. It's one thing.
Anyway.
It's a list.
Transmissions is supported by all our donatrons. So thank you to all those folks who continue to contribute to help keep this show going. Thank you for your support. It's really appreciated. And it does let us do this every week and not have never miss a week in over 11 years. So I think that's pretty cool. So thanks everyone for
all a
supporting
testament
us.
to you.
Yep. All that prep, Charles. Good job.
If you are not a donatron and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. Maybe if we get enough donations, I can get an assistant.
Got 3 kids. Come on. Need an assistant for.
You have kids, Daryl. You know kids are not assistants. Kids don't help. They don't do anything.
Yeah, you're not beating them enough.
Oh my God.
That's boomer parenting right there.
You're
Must
not
be
a
something
boomer.
else Canada has that we don't.
Yep.
We're Gen X, Daryl. We got beaten. We don't beat our kids. We got beaten.
I mean, so I'm doing that wrong then, yeah. Okay.
And I'm a millennial who's offended by the idea of beating children.
All right. No kids were harmed in the making of this podcast. So, of course, as a donatron, you get some perks that includes our bonus content, which includes our bonus show, We Like Big Bots. That's done by Daryl and Dr. Pants. They don't beat each other or their big bots in the show. So you can watch all 14 episodes of our We Like Big Bots show on our Patreon page, with more planned in the future at some point. Maybe. We'll see. We've also...
Sorry, you can just hear how much you've given up.
That's just the disappointment.
Oh.
We've also got our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. This week we have episode 129, Zombie Side. That's available on the free feed at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And next week will be the bonus early version of episode 130. That will be out for our Donatrons on Monday. So everyone look forward to that. That's a week early for everyone who's listening to Empire of Rust, our RPG podcast.
That's the show Charles is really proud of.
To be fair, Mike regularly updates.
That show's ready weeks in advance, sometimes months in advance, so I don't have to do anything. Of course, we've also got our exclusive Transformers #1, Skybound Transformers #1 with cover art by EJ Sue. You can pick that up at our website, transmissionspodcast.com/comic, and own a piece of Transformers comics history, recent history, I should say. And lastly, of course, we've still got our Toy Hacks code. So since Black Friday is over, we're in December. The holidays are approaching. If you want to get some Toy Hacks labels, you can save 15% off everything at toyhacks.com with our code HOLIBOTS, HOLIBOTS. So think holiday and replace the day with bots. It's very easy. So use that code HOLIBOTS to get 15% off everything at toyhacks.com throughout the month of December. And then you can get some great holiday gifts for yourself or for your loved ones.
It is. I meant to mention this in the toy show. There is currently, as we record this episode, there's a Canada Post strike on. So you can order from Toy Hacks, but nothing's getting shipped out right now. So you're waiting. But you can go ahead and make the purchase, and you're just going to be waiting because they're not couriering anything out. They're not made of money. So anyway, but make the purchase, use the code, and just know that once the strike is over, it's the stuff will go out.
Does the strike also affect the codes for the winners of our drawings?
Yes, definitely. There is a strike in this house. Yep.
Yes, for those who are not aware, Toy Hacks is a Canadian company, so they are based in Canada. So they ship everything from Canada to so that's where those labels are coming from. So that's why they are affected by the Canadian Post strike. But don't worry, it'll still get there. I mean, you still get the discount now, so it'll still get there. All right, let's get into the show. For this week's Alt Mode, we've just got some media news to talk about.
All right, and first up, we have some gaming news. Good thing I'm here this week. So we've got some images, some CAD designs for Transformers Eternal War, the new mobile game coming up. And again, we've just got CAD images of Optimus and Megatron, and very stylized G1. This is very much the evergreen style of Optimus and Megatron, just in gray CAD files. They look good. Designs look nice, very G1, but very stylized. Megatron is, of course, a tank. And Optimus, I love that it says under alt mode, powerful semi-truck. Not just a semi-truck, a powerful one. This game is going to be what is called an idle RPG mobile game, which is basically just passive gameplay. You don't have to do a whole lot of interaction with the characters, maybe some leveling up, maybe some customization, but the game kind of does some playing while you sit and wait. If you've ever played things like AFK Journey or AFK Arena, AFK away from the board, that's what this game is kind of going to be. Based in the G1 universe, we saw the trailer. The trailer is the Ark, crashing and whatnot. So we'll see how this turns out. But the designs look cool. I love how like kind of chunky and beefy they look, and also there's a lot of detail going on in these figures because you can see a lot of not figures. I'm sorry, I'm just so used to talking about toys. In these designs, there's a lot of detail going on. You can see a lot where the transformation occurs and everything. So I don't know if they were going specifically for like turning this into a toy at some point, maybe for the studio series because we're doing the gamer editions. Maybe Eternal War will get some gamer edition figures, but still, this is shaping up to look pretty cool. I'm excited to see what the other designs for the characters are going to look like and what they're going to pull off here, and also what other powerful vehicles we may get. Will Bumblebee be a powerful Volkswagen Beetle?
Yeah, I think the everything gaming wise now has an eye towards the studio series. If they can make the design into a figure, it's on the table.
I mean, I'm down for that because honestly, this is evoking kind of the Cyberverse, maybe a little bit IDW. It is that evergreen design, but the figures look really cool, and I do appreciate nice chunky figure. Also, both of these have a faction, a class, and a trait applied to them, so that's probably going to play into the game mechanics where Megatron is class Firepower, Optimus is class Vanguard. So we'll see what happens. Oh, actually, this is interesting. On the Megatron one, it shows his fusion cannon. Next to it, that is the combined weapon from the Combiner Wars toy. Because it came with two little handguns that could combine into one bigger one. And that's that weapon right there. That's interesting.
Nice.
So, I don't know. We'll keep our eyes open for more information. But I'm not a big mobile game player. I mean, I'll give it a shot. Why not? I just hope it's not like too complicated. It's an idle RPG, which means it shouldn't be. But when you throw too many mechanics into a game, it really drives me insane, especially on a mobile game. But wait and see.
All right, we're going to move on to talking about the official standalone Transformers store in Battersea, UK. We talked about it a little bit. I think it was last week. It might have been the week before,
Yes,
but
it was last week.
It was last week. Okay, cool.
They had an exclusive comic that they were releasing.
That's right. Yes. Okay. So anyway, we've got pictures from the opening of this store, and it looks pretty good. The shelves are all well stocked. Tons and tons of comics, which is great. I don't see any of ours. I mean, what the hell, guys? But it looks really fun. Lots of really great things on the shelves and the pegs. I mean, it basically looks like the aisle at your local toy store, but just absolutely dedicated to Transformers. An awful lot of Blokey stuff. So I've only seen Blokeys at the Baltimore TFCon, so I've not seen them in a shop yet. But no, it looks pretty good. A lot of plushies, some big full size Optimus and Megatron, Orion packs and D16 figures from the Transformers 1 movie. A lot of art books, some anime. Looks a lot of fun looking stuff. I mean, it looks like a good time was had by all. So yeah, a lot of great merchandise to have.
I thought it was interesting that they have a lot of older stuff too, like the War for Cybertron book, and then in the background of this, they got the manga, but then that's the isn't that the Covenant of Primus or
no, that's a different.
That's a Covenant.
Yeah, that's a different collection.
Oh, okay, but it's out of print as far as I knew.
Yeah, I mean, I think that collection is still older and out of print, the one they're showing there, but it's cool.
Oh, there it is. It's the visual. History.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's nice to see that they've got this thing up and running. It'd be interesting to see how well it does, and whether or not we get one on this side of the pond. So,
Well, I mean, for right now, do we have that Donatreon money? Can we get some plane tickets to go to the UK and check out the shop?
no.
Oh.
It would be going to TF Nation. So but we don't have that much.
I like there's a little detail here, and then some of the pictures you may have noticed it. This one that's on the screen right now is definitely, you can see it really nicely. Is they've got tire tracks through the building, and you can kind of see it there. And it's just kind of a nice little like thing that you wouldn't expect to see in the in a regular store. Also, the store is littered with TVs, which are showing Transformers. So that's good. It's a neat. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say I want that sound wave with the neon light up chest that was in that one image right there. Like that's just cool. I want that.
That's really neat. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for that. We can move on. We've got a new book that I have no doubt will end up at that store. This is The Art of Transformers 1, the hardcover, and it looks pretty cool. It showing on eBay. So this is so it does appear that some of the eBay listings have a small printed letter from director Josh Cooley that was put inside the book. So it's a neat little piece here. So yeah, that it's cool. This is something that was given to the Critics' Choice members. So maybe they'll. I guess these things are ending up on eBay. So if you're looking for them, then maybe take a look. And I'm sure there's something like this is going to hit the stores in the next little while. All right, and next, speaking of Transformers 1, its box office run has concluded, and it has officially been named the lowest earning Paramount Transformers movie to date, which is no surprise. But yeah, so it totaled 128. Yeah, 128 million, $888,103 worldwide. So, I mean, made back its budget, I guess, but still, that's pretty low. Yeah. Rise of the Beast did was the worst to date up until this point, and it tripled what Transformers 1 did. So it's a bit of a shot to the heart, but yeah, we'll see what the future holds, whether Paramount wants to put any more money into this. We talked a lot about it last week, so I'm not going to kind of go over that again, but yeah, it's not a great sign when the numbers really don't come out in your favor. So
yeah, I mean, but this article mentions the reasons why it would be so low, but I mean, marketing and the stupid release window that they did, where it was staggered around the whole world, did no favors for the movie.
No,
I'll still say again. I teach students. They love the Transformers movies. They bring it up a lot. They had no idea this was coming out. None of them knew.
Marketing was not targeted towards them, targeted towards like elementary school kids, or a completely different movie than you actually saw.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for media news.
All right, and we'll move on with some convention news.
All right, we have TF Nation update and then a whole bunch of TFCon LA. So TF Nation, Evan Michael Lee, who is the voice of Jazz in Transformers 1 and also in that little G1 like thing that they did in the theaters where you got the first few episodes with the live recording. He played Jazz in that. And he's also been in tons of other like animated projects. But he's going to be going to TF Nation, and I think it's his first Transformers mention at all. So awesome seeing him there. He seems to be really excited about playing Jazz. I've seen him interact on social media, and he seems to just be so happy to be involved. The TFCon LA, voice actor Andre Soglui, oh, Andre Sogliuzio. I'm sorry. He was the voice of Sideswipe in Revenge of the Fallen and Clawtrap in the 2015 Robots in the Sky series. So it's awesome seeing him there. And then we have James Horan, who is the voice of Wheeljack in Transformers Prime. And this was also saying it was like the 10th anniversary of that Robots in the Skies, 15th anniversary of Transformers Prime. So we'll be getting a lot of actors from both of those series. And then David Sobolov, who is the voice of Transformers Prime Shockwave, Beast Wars Depth Charge, and Rise of the Beast, Battle Trap, and Ape Link. Next, we have Jeff Bennett, who is the voice of Angry Archer, Captain Fanzone, Mixmaster Prowl, Soundwave, and Transformers Animated, and Axiom and Theorem in Robots in the Skies 2015.
Lots of awesome 90s cartoons. If you watch any 90s cartoons, you will hear Jeff Bennett in there somewhere.
Oh, he was also Johnny Bravo. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab, Gargoyles. Lots of good cartoons.
And he got an Emmy Award for his work in Rescue Bot.
Wow.
Cool.
Awesome. And then David K, I guess we can call him friend of the show. He wears our shirts all the time on social media. So he's going to be there at voice of Megatron and Beast Wars, Beast Machines and Armada, Optimus Prime and Animated, and Hardshell and Transformers Prime. So he's always a fun person to talk with at conventions. I think that is all the updates we have at this point.
All right. Yeah. TFCon LA is shaping up. It's always, they are always able to get lots of talent for TFCon LA just because of the proximity to Hollywood. So that's cool. All right. Let's finish up the show with a little bit of feedback. Okay, we have one comment on YouTube from last week's episode 618, or 418, alt mode 418. This comment comes from KCD6926, and they say, interesting conversations about Hasbro, Paramount, Dreamwave, etc. Got me thinking. To me, the current Skybound Transformers comic book title reminds me of the Bay movies. They're super popular, they make money, they're aimed at 13-year-old boys, and they're completely mediocre. No disrespect to anyone who likes the current Skybound books, and I know the entire Transmissions crew does, but I haven't been impressed. The level of sophistication, storytelling, complexity, and grandeur is not on the same level as the old IDW books. It just feels like the Skybound books are aimed at a younger audience that wants a simple story, but what do I know? Apparently, that's good enough to win an Eisner Award.
Oh man. So hot take here. Anybody want to say anything before I go off here real quick?
I mean, I'm gonna say that Charles, he's gonna speak for himself, but I know that Charles wishes the IDW books were back. But I think this person is calling me mediocre. Is that what I'm hearing?
He's calling you a 13-year-old boy is what he's doing.
I mean, that's fair.
That's giving me something, because I'm, I think my maturity level is actually much younger than that. But but man, like, that's a punch to the gut, I guess.
we didn't create the Skybound book, so it's not an insult to us.
I mean,
don't take it personally.
I like them. I don't know. I mean, I like them for sure, and I think they're really good. But I mean, I complained all the time about the IDW books because there wasn't enough fighting or transforming. But I guess because I wanted, more action, I'm a child. Oh, I
mean, but before Dr. Pants goes off, I want to just kind of be in the middle here. I'm enjoying the Skybound books, but I can also see the depth of storytelling that we've gotten previously. And like the pendulum has swung more towards the action side and kind of rehashing, or not rehashing, like reinventing the G1 stuff we have seen before, rather than completely creating it a whole new, like from scratch thing like IDW did. I mean, I enjoy them both, but yeah, I don't know. I can see the points here from Casey as well. I wouldn't call them mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I think each iteration of Transformers comics hits different things. I mean, yeah, I love the IDW comics. That's not a secret. I think they're the high point of Transformers storytelling in any medium. I think particularly the More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise run of Transformers comics. Those are my high watermark. And I love those comics. The Skybound comics, I'm enjoying them. I mean, we've only had a year of Transformers comics from Skybound, so I mean, we're at 14 issues. You can't. I mean, we're just at the starting point, so it's hard to compare the current run with years and years and hundreds of issues of what IDW did. I will say that, I mean, starting off, the story has been like the hook has been to recapture G1 and kind of go back to basics. But what I think Skybound has done really well, and what Daniel Warren Johnson has done really well, is capture the characterization of some of the main Transformers characters, like in particular Optimus Prime, Starscream, Soundwave. And even Shockwave, bringing a new personality to Shockwave that typically doesn't get shown, as like Shockwave is the more logical character, and they switched it up to more like a mad scientist character here. Also, the conflict between with Elita 1 in the last story arc, and RC and her trauma bonding with Carly. All these things, all these character interactions, I think are great. If the plot and the story and the lore has not and been expanded as much as you might like. I mean, again, we're only 14 issues in, but I think what really shines in the Transformers books is the character work, and the action and the fight scenes and everything, and the dynamic, fast-paced action there in the comics. So, I mean, I definitely can see if that's not your thing, and if it feels like it's more just kind of a bombastic, action fest and not your cup of tea. I understand that, but I will say, if you look at the Bay movies, where characterization is non-existent in the Bay movies, this is not what you have in the Skybound comics. The Skybound comics really cares about getting the characters right. I mean, maybe not every character, but the main characters, getting them in particular right, and capturing the right tone and feel of those characters, which I think is a real high point for the Skybound comics. So, yeah. So let her rip, Dr. Pants.
Well, Charles, the funny thing is you actually covered a lot of what I was going to say. I was just really I understand that he's saying no disrespect, but when he said that these are basically the Bay movies, I was about to lose it, because the Bay movies are completely mindless. None of the characters have character at all. I don't think you can characterize any character in that movie in a particular way. Bumblebee is just a non-talking comic relief who doesn't have a personality other than he's the comic relief. Optimus Prime is a murderer. He has no characterization in those movies aside from murderer. And like, he says that the IDW books had a level of sophistication, storytelling, complexity, and grandeur. Like, I think he's confusing plot and storytelling, because storytelling includes all kinds of stuff. And in all honesty, the Skybound books, I'm with Charles on this. The characterizations in them are absolutely fantastic. And there is a level of complexity to those characters, because Alita 1 is a very well written character. I hate her. I hate her so much in the comics, but it's not because she's a badly written character. She's very well written. I just don't like her actions, but I understand them.
And that might be the point of what they're trying to get you to feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the way they're characterizing Optimus Prime in this, they are doing such a fantastic job. And I'm going to take a shot at the IDW books that once we hit the more than meets the eye robots in disguise run, like, Optimus Prime sucked. They did a terrible job writing him, and he was not a good representation of Optimus Prime. Skybound's doing a great job with it. And I'm going to throw another shot at IDW. If like you look at the IDW run, there are at times that all of that plot is shoved up its ass so far it borders on the nonsensical. Do we forget that Scorponok at one point had a human baby inside of him, like isolated? That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And like, I don't know if we needed that plot or not. Like, the IDW books are good. I'm not going to say that, but take them down from the pedestal for a moment. They weren't completely 100% amazing. They were really, really good. They had some, Charles, you're right. It's some of the best Transformers media we've gotten, but some of it wasn't great. Also, I'm going to defend the Ruckley run. I liked the Ruckley run. I thought it was pretty good storytelling as well. Daryl, shut up. I know it didn't have enough action for you, blah, 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 blah. But I liked that run. I thought it did a good job too. I thought it did a good job with characterization. And
I think our big thing was just the pacing in that run.
It was the pacing. It was written very much like Void Rivals is now. It's slow. And I think if you read that in terms of like trades and whatnot, it would have been a very good run. But the Skybound books are not mediocre. Yes, the plot is very simple. It's just Autobots and Decepticons on Earth. But that doesn't mean that the storytelling isn't good. There's more to storytelling than plot. The characterization and everything is fantastic. Yes, it is super violent at times, but so was IDW. Anyone else remember that one shot of Pharma just slicing a guy straight up the middle and him screaming while oil and everything pours out of him?
The entire Wreckers series.
Like IDW hasn't strayed away from being super violent too. And I'm also going to throw it out there. I think the art in the Skybound books has surpassed a lot of art in the IDW run. There's something about this style I really like, and some of these pages are absolutely fantastic. My only complaint with the Skybound run is it's just G1 again. And that drives me nuts. I'm tired of G1 over and over again. But I'm sorry, these are not aimed at 13-year-old boys. Because 13-year-old boys are going to love the Bay movies. They're not going to care about the character moments in these comics. They're not going to care about how pretty the shot is of Beachcomber riding up that spiraling water. Like, they're just going to, like, they're in it for the gore, which isn't in that much of it. Like, I don't think it's there that much. It is violent, but not that much. I think KCD's got a real bad take on this. I think there's way more to the Skybound than he's given credit for. And it kind of like, sorry, comparing it to the Bay movies throws me off because the Bay movies are utter trash. They are just pretty action. And that is it. And if you love them, that's fine. I'm not gonna say you've got bad taste. I might think it, but I won't say it. So yeah, sorry.
Dr. Pants has to deal with a lot of high school students telling him that the Bay movies are awesome Transformers movies. So
there's a lot of pent up.
He's been traumatized.
I can't win that fight. I'm outnumbered, and they don't understand.
That's why we give you this outlet for a pants rant.
Yeah. So Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think Skybound is necessarily aimed at a younger audience who wants a simpler story. It's a simpler story, but the characters are much deeper than we've gotten in a long time in a lot of Transformers media. And I think that's where the real writing comes into play. Because if you just go for complex story, then you do end up with the Ruckley run, and most people didn't like it. I did, but most people didn't. I think I'm done now. I'm sorry.
I will say to counterpoint to you, Dr. Pants. I mean, just my opinion. I prefer the cleaner artwork that we got in like the IDW and some of the IDW artists that we're familiar with. I mean, I think the Daniel Warren Johnson / Jorge Corona art style is I think it's cool. It's gritty, more I think
It fits the story that they're trying to tell.
yeah, it fits the story. It's more kind of impressionistic than we get in the IDW run, but I like the cleaner art style that we got from like an Alex Milne or a Casey Collar or a Andrew Griffith, so
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got some of Andrew Milne's art hanging up in my house because it is very good. I've got some
Andrew Milne,
Alex Milne.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh my God.
This weird amalgamation.
Yeah. Sorry. Alex Milne. I've got some of his art hanging up in my house. There's one back here. It's right here. And I've got some Andrew Griffith art hanging in my house as well. Like, I love that artwork, but I don't remember ever looking at that book and like looking at a splash page the way I have in this run and been like, that artwork is absolutely stunning. Like it's not just the way they draw the bots, because I don't think that the bots are drawn necessarily better in this book, but I think everything goes together really well and creates a really beautiful book in general. That might be more what I'm thinking.
I would say it's more visceral.
It is more visceral. It is messier. But that's a style, and I like that style, and I think it's working out really well for these books right now. DJ Ronan did make a comment that the first dozen books in the Ruckley run were some of the worst art we've seen, and you know what? Yeah, I didn't like that art very much. That art was not consistent either, and that drove me nuts. So
yeah, that was where Hasbro made the artists draw them looking like the War for Cybertron toys, to the point where they drew the holes where the 5mm ports were in the toys.
Yeah.
In the artwork. That was not great.
I feel it got better towards the end, but definitely in the beginning it was really, really rough. But so.
Well, KCD, I mean, I think you're definitely entitled to your opinion. So you already said you've heard our opinion here. So everyone can enjoy or not enjoy what they whatever they like here. So if I mean, I think you're definitely entitled to your take. But thanks for writing in, and hope you are continue to watch and listen and enjoy our reviews.
Yeah, I'm sorry, KCD. I didn't mean to attack you personally. That wasn't it. I was just attacking your words. But by all means, please feel the way you do about comics. Lord knows there's been plenty of comics out there I've hated that other people loved. So,
yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. As always, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrions. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So that's why we give them a mention in every episode. So thank you once again to John for 7good and Steve C. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to Dr. Pants for hanging out with us this week. Thanks again for coming on, giving us the pants rant that we know and love. And tell everyone where they can find your stuff online.
If you want to see my feelings on more things that are of no consequence, where I get really angry, go check out Nerstradamus. It is right here below my name if you're watching this on YouTube, or it's in the show notes. Oh, look, there's my link tree. Thank you. So there is, of course, the YouTube channel. We're on Twitch. We have we used to do a podcast. We'll see if that comes back. We have music and stuff, but find us anywhere. And yeah, we have a blast doing what we do. So yeah.
All right. And we have a blast here too. So thanks everyone for watching and listening. Thanks for letting us do this every week. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.